Ever wonder what happens when a first-round talent gets buried so deep in an organization's depth chart that even his own team forgets he exists? Meet Yegor Chinakhov, the 24-year-old Russian winger who's become the NHL's most intriguing contradiction, a player with undeniable skill trapped in a situation that's slowly suffocating his potential. The Vancouver Canucks now find themselves at the center of what could be the steal of the century or the latest cautionary tale about chasing talent over substance. This isn't just another trade rumor or off-season speculation. This is about opportunity meeting desperation, about a franchise-altering decision disguised as a simple roster move. The Canucks have created an opening in their top 9 forward group after trading Dakota Joshua to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Chinakhov's trade request from Columbus has created a perfect storm of circumstances that could reshape both organizations' futures. The fallen angel. From promise to purgatory, Yegor Chinakhov's NHL journey reads like a masterclass in wasted potential and organizational mismanagement. Selected in the first round of the 2020 draft, he arrived in Columbus carrying the weight of expectations that typically accompany such pedigree. Fast forward to today, and he's requesting a trade from the only NHL organization he's ever known, desperate for an opportunity that seems perpetually out of reach. The numbers tell a story of tantalizing glimpses rather than sustained success. In just 30 games last season, a campaign shortened by injuries had become an unfortunate pattern. Chinakhov managed 15 points, extrapolating to a 41-point pace over a full 82-game season. These aren't superstar numbers, but they represent production from a player who's never been given consistent top 6 minutes or power play opportunities. His career statistics paint the picture of a player stuck in developmental limbo. 34 goals and 37 assists for 71 points in 175 NHL games. Respectable numbers, but hardly the production you'd expect from someone with his skill set and draft position. The cruel irony is that Chinakhov has demonstrated NHL-level ability while never truly being trusted by his coaches to reach his potential. The physical tools are undeniable. At 6 feet 1 inch and 198 pounds, Chinakhov possesses the size-speed combination that makes NHL scouts salivate. His shot quality is elite level, the kind of weapon that can change games when deployed properly. But in Columbus, he's been treated like a luxury item rather than necessity, used sparingly and inconsistently throughout his young career. The Columbus conundrum. Why talent gets wasted understanding Chinakhov's situation requires examining the broader context of the Columbus Blue Jackets' organizational philosophy. This is a franchise that's been in perpetual rebuilding mode throughout most of Chinakhov's tenure, constantly shuffling between competing for playoffs and building for the future. In such environments, young players often become casualties of mixed messages and unclear development plans. The most damning evidence of Columbus's mismanagement is Chinakhov's career high of just 62 games played in a single season. This isn't just about injuries. It's about an organization that's never fully committed to developing one of their most promising prospects. He's reached double digits in goals only once, scoring 16 in the 2023-24 season, a number that feels more like a floor than a ceiling for someone with his abilities. The defensive concerns that have limited his ice time are legitimate but not insurmountable. Chinakhov's defensive zone coverage needs improvement, but he's 24 years old with plenty of runway for development. The Blue Jackets' reluctance to invest in that development, while simultaneously preventing him from playing in situations where he could learn and grow, represents organizational failure of the highest order. Vancouver's perfect storm. Timing, need, and opportunity. The Dakota Joshua trade to Toronto created exactly the kind of opening that makes Chinakhov's availability so intriguing for Vancouver. Joshua's departure left a hole in the Canucks' third line that goes beyond simple roster mathematics. It removed a physical presence and defensive reliability that helped balance their forward group. Chinakhov represents a completely different player archetype than Joshua, but potentially a more impactful one in the right system. Where Joshua brought grit and defensive responsibility, Chinakhov offers skill, speed, and scoring potential that could elevate the entire third line's offensive ceiling. The fit with potential line mates like Nils Hoglander is particularly compelling. Both players possess the speed and creativity to generate offense through skill rather than structure, and pairing them with a defensively responsible center like Teddy Bluger could create the kind of balanced line that drives successful teams. This combination mirrors the effectiveness of previous Canucks lines that mixed offensive creativity with defensive stability. Perhaps even more exciting is Chinakhov's potential impact on Vancouver's power play units. His size and shooting ability make him ideal for net front presence or bumper position duties, roles where his reach and release could create immediate scoring opportunities. While he'd likely star on the second unit, his skill set suggests he could quickly earn promotion to the primary group. The economics of opportunity, low risk, high reward, the financial aspects of a potential Chinakhov acquisition make the proposition even more attractive for Vancouver. At $2.1 million in cap impact and entering the final year of his contract, he represents exactly the kind of low-cost, high-upside addition that smart organizations target. His pending restricted free agency status means any acquiring team would maintain control beyond this season, providing multiple years to develop and maximize his potential. For a Canucks organization that's demonstrated patience with young players, this represents an ideal timeline for both development and evaluation. The trade cost appears equally manageable, with Chinakhov having requested a trade in Columbus presumably motivated to move him. The acquisition price would likely be modest, perhaps as simple as a future second-round pick or similar mid-level asset. This isn't the kind of blockbuster move that compromises future flexibility. It's the type of calculated gamble that builds championship rosters. The development dilemma, system versus situation, what makes Chinakhov's case so fascinating is how much of success would depend on Vancouver's ability to provide what Columbus couldn't: consistent opportunity and patient development. The Canucks have shown willingness to invest in young players' growth, but they're also a team with playoff aspirations that can't afford extended development projects. The key will be Vancouver's coaching staff's ability to maximize Chinakhov's strengths while addressing his weaknesses. His offensive instincts are NHL caliber, but his defensive positioning and decision-making need refinement. In the right system with proper coaching, these are correctable flaws rather than career-limiting obstacles. Rick Tocchet's coaching philosophy emphasizes accountability and two-way play, qualities that have been missing from Chinakhov's development in Columbus. The structure and expectations that come with playing for a competitive team could provide exactly the environment needed to unlock his potential. The risk assessment. What could go wrong? Despite the apparent upside, acquiring Chinakhov isn't without risks. His injury history raises legitimate durability concerns, and players who struggle to earn trust in one organization don't always flourish elsewhere. The defensive limitations that have restricted his ice time in Columbus won't disappear simply because he changes uniforms. There's also the possibility that his trade request stems from unrealistic expectations about his role and ice time. If Chinakhov expects immediate top 6 minutes and power play responsibilities, he might find himself disappointed again in Vancouver's depth-heavy forward group. The contract situation adds another layer of complexity. As a pending RFA, Chinakhov will need a new deal after this season, and his asking price might not align with his actual production. Teams that acquire struggling players often face inflated salary demands based on potential rather than performance. The broader implications, building versus competing for Vancouver. The Chinakhov decision represents a broader philosophical question about roster construction and competitive timeline. Adding him signals belief in their ability to develop and maximize underutilized talent, but also represents a commitment to patience in a market that demands immediate results. The successful integration of Chinakhov could provide a template for future acquisitions, demonstrating Vancouver's ability to identify and develop undervalued assets. Conversely, failure to unlock his potential could reinforce perceptions about the difficulty of rehabilitating struggling prospects. The verdict: worth the gamble when evaluating potential Chinakhov acquisition. The mathematics favor Vancouver taking the risk. The combination of low acquisition cost, manageable contract, and significant upside potential makes this exactly the kind of move that separates good organizations from great ones. Chinakhov represents more than just a roster addition. He's a statement about Vancouver's confidence in their development system and coaching staff. In the right environment with proper support, he could become the kind of player that Columbus fans will spend years regretting they let go. The window for opportunity won't remain open indefinitely. Other teams are undoubtedly evaluating Chinakhov's availability, and his combination of age, skill, and affordability makes him an attractive target for multiple organizations. Vancouver's advantage lies in their immediate need and proven track record of maximizing young talent. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that don't make headlines initially but reshape organizations over time. Chinakhov's combination of unfulfilled potential and desperate motivation could make him exactly that kind of acquisition. The under-the-radar move that becomes a foundation for sustained success. The clock is ticking on this opportunity. Do you think the Canucks should pull the trigger on Chinakhov, or would you rather see them use their cap space elsewhere? This could be the hidden gem that changes everything, or just another cautionary tale. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if you want more deep dives into the moves that have defined this NHL season. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're as intrigued by this potential steal as I am.